Meantime, on Capitol Hill, the frustration is escalating. Some senators, just off a classified briefing, want President Biden to update the shoot-down of 4 flying objects in just over a week. There has been widespread bipartisan exasperation over the lack of information.
President Biden owes the American people an explanation. President Biden should speak on camera directly to the American people today.
I have a better understanding, but the American people need and deserve to know more.
They can say what they know, what they don't know, and don't reveal sources and methods. That's what the American people want. When you don't provide information and there's a dearth of information, it can lead to wild speculation.
President Biden has yet to address the matter, but we'll be listening closely because he's about to speak at a conference at the National Association of Counties. So we will keep our ear to that. And for the first time, we're hearing U.S. intelligence officials do have a leading explanation for those 3 most recent objects. NBC's Ryan Nobles is on Capitol Hill. NBC's Tom Costello is following the investigation. So, Tom, you know, and you just heard the frustration from the senators, there are still many unanswered questions. But what theory is the intel community leaning toward, at least when we look at these last 3 objects, not calling them balloons?
No, you're right. And the theory now is, and candidly, they've been hinting at this for a couple of days, but the theory is now that, in fact, these were not any sort of intelligence gathering mechanism or device or balloon, that the 3 objects shot down, now we're not talking about the big balloon, but the 3 most recently could have been commercial or maybe even a university type of weather balloon or something of that nature, something that is benign. In other words, studying the ozone or looking at weather patterns. By the way, the United States alone launches dozens, even hundreds of weather balloons every single day, and we're not the only ones. So there's a lot of stuff that gets up there, and the thinking increasingly is that, in fact, this is benign. However, let's underscore the United States and the Canadians still do not have the pieces from these objects that were shot down in Alaska, in the Yukon, or over Lake Huron. Because in the case of both Huron and Alaska, they are thought to be submerged in water. And the Alaskan Yukon, as you know, is a vast Siberian type of territory that they've got to search looking for kind of a needle in the haystack. They do, however, have a lot of, if not most of, the electronics that came from that suspected spy balloon off of South Carolina. And all of that continues to underscore the Pentagon's theory that, in fact, that was some sort of an electronic, a spy or eavesdropping technology deployed by the Chinese to spy on the United States. But the 3 objects shot down this last weekend, increasingly the theory is, they were probably benign and maybe some sort of a science or weather experiment or calculations, if you will, that are being done aloft.